one, I really hesitate to call it a benefit, because it's really not a benefit. The one forgiving part of this game is that you do have infinite continues. You just have shitty checkpoints. But, on a more important note, it has been brought to my attention that Rygar, this Hercules-looking motherfucker that you're playing as, actually has a Prince Albert. And attached to that Prince Albert is a long chain and a spiked ball. So that is what his weapon is. I was unaware of that, and my shame is great as a result. Alright, time for the little tidbit of actual, genuine, useful information. I noticed that some people on here, or at least one, like to level up on these weird-ass robots later on in the game. That isn't necessary. You can do just as well staying here or in an upcoming forest, kill these green bastards, and level up very easily. You get more creatures. You certainly have a better chance of getting life if you get hit. So these guys are amongst the best creatures to level up on. In my humble opinion, of course. And when you level up, you get life, and you actually do have an increase in attack power. And actually, it becomes a fairly substantial increase in attack power. And here's just a note that shows how this game could have been thought out better. Those little green platforms, and things like them, like tree branches. Yes, once you get the dick extension that is the grappling hook, which only shoots up or allows you to drop down, well, if you duck on one of those said platforms and try to attack, there's a very good chance that instead of attacking at the dude who's coming at you to gnaw your left nut off, you're going to drop down and get your head lopped off instead. It's really unpleasant to have that happen. So you have to be very aware of where you're jumping, because some of these platforms are positioned right there, perfect example. Some of these platforms are positioned in such a way that those green fuckers can actually just slide right under your Prince Albert ball and chain of death and hit you. And they're flying at you with their mouth open. So not only are they having their way, but as they go by, carrying in their mouths your genitalia, they're also laughing at your misfortune. The fact that the game designers were far more on their side than on yours. Ugh. This level likes the hairy, shriveled left donkey testicle. But, on a positive note, it is actually a pretty decent place to level up in. There's one spot in particular that I usually use. It's right in front of the boss's door. Although this level does have a saving grace, it has I don't know if it's all that common, but a glitch of sorts in the game, where you can go off screen just slightly and the enemy will disappear. You definitely want to do that with these things. They're positioned in horrible, horrible places. They're certainly not easy to kill at this point in the game. here, we're coming up on it. It's basically these branches. This sort of area is a wonderful spot to level up on. Now, I'm not going to pain you with me standing around like a dickhead killing these green Chippendales for 15-20 minutes. But if you need to refill, and chances are if you try to go to this boss without leveling up a bit, you'll die and need to refill, this is the easiest way to do it. You have to admire the graphical achievements of Rygar when the creature sprites will just disappear into the background, at least in part. There'll be one square of their sprite. That one hit really hurt going into this fucker. So you get to fight a two-headed Koopa Troopa who shoots fire. He's not that bad. He's really not. But when you go in to fight him, you want to use Attack and Assail, which you'll need tons of stars to level up to that. It allows you to hit an enemy without actually being on top of him. And this part was just lame as hell. I got stuck in the tree. Somehow. And here, this is after I'd leveled up some, used Attack and Assail, and, well, you don't want to stand there toe-to-toe with him. You do want to kind of lure him to such a distance that you can jump through his little fireballs. And then you get to meet a three-eyed version of the pedos.